guys, there's an update on migration released recently by the UK government. So we'll be looking at it in details to see how it affects migrants and different kinds of visas, skilled worker visa, health and care worker visa, study, dependent visa, and lots more. So please stick around with me where we'll go straight into it to see exactly what this is all about. My name is Tochi. You're welcome to my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up, like it as you're watching right now. Thank you. To all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. Thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. And if you're yet to subscribe, I really don't know what you're waiting for. Kindly do so because I share amazing content that you definitely love on this channel. So please consider sticking around with me. So if you've been following the news or you've been up to date with everything going on with the UK, if you've been following my channel, you should know because I try to keep you guys updated anyways. You will know that there's been a lot of buzz around migration. You know, the previous government did their bit in cutting down migration, both legal and illegal migration to the UK. And now the new government is doing the same. Now, recently, the Office of National Statistics just released new figures showing exactly the number of people that have entered the UK and how high it is. And following that, the Prime Minister also made a statement telling us how they are further going to cut down migration to the UK and the new plans they have in place to do that. Guys, it is really serious. You know, when we're still trying to understand everything they have put in place and saying they're going to change their minds, they're saying no turning back. If for anything, they're even going to put further measures in place and release new plans to further cut down migration to the UK. So everybody is obviously not happy with the numbers that was just released. So let's just look at it. I'm going to share my screen with you guys right now. This is it. Net migration to the UK hit a record 906,000 in the year to June 2023, much higher than previously thought, official figures show. Office of National Statistics originally estimated it was 740,000, but has now revised this figure upwards by 166,000. You know, before the previous government came up with the plans and everything they put in place to cut down migration, the Office of National Statistics released a particular figure, and they were saying that it was really high. Net migration was high, hit the record high. Like, guys, the buzz, it was everywhere and all of that. And then to cut that down or to make sure they restrict that from happening, the previous government had to put some measures in place to cut down migration to the UK. That was when they, announced that they were going to stop international students from bringing dependents, care workers also from bringing dependents, increase salary thresholds for a skilled worker visa, and all of that. They did a lot of things to make sure that these figures are brought down. And now they are saying no, the figures we showed you guys were actually not correct. It is 906,000 and 166,000 more than the last figures we showed. Okay, so it's almost close to a million. So it said annual net migration, the difference between those entering and leaving the UK, has since fallen to 728,000 in the year to June 2024. So you see that with the new figures released, it shows that migration didn't really drop, as the people would have expected, and that is why the government is not happy about it. Both the Conservative Party and the Labour Party, everybody is just not happy with the numbers, despite all the measures that have been put in place to cut down migration to the UK. That is why the Prime Minister in his statement said that they're even going to do more to cut this down. Because looking at this, initially they said it was 740,000, but now the figure is saying no, it was actually a mistake. It wasn't 740,000 people, it is 906,000 people, right, in the year to June 2023. And now in the year to June 2024, it is 728,000 people. So you see that the drop in number was not so significant as they would have expected, considering all the measures they put in place to cut down migration. Now, looking at this graph, you see here, migration adds 728,000 to UK population. So total arrivals and net change in UK population in the year to June 2024. 91, 98, 2004, 2011, and here 2017. Now, can you see how high the numbers went here? It was really a lot compared to the previous years. So we can understand why the government is really worried, because the number just keeps going high. And despite the measures they put in place to cut it down, the change was still not significant, right? The decrease, the reduction in numbers was still not significant, okay? So they were not really happy with it. So that is why, if we read further, we're going to see what the Prime Minister said they're going to do to cut down migration to the UK, or to make sure they cut it down. Both the Conservative and the Labour Party, everybody is just doing everything or saying what they can do to cut it down. They are not happy with the numbers. The Labour Party is blaming the Conservative Party for everything that is going on, how they left their borders open for everybody to come into the UK. They were just not happy the way the Conservative Party handled migration, and they are blaming them for it. And then the Conservative Party is also saying the Labour is not doing enough to cut down migration to the UK and all of that. So there's just a lot of debates back and forth going on with the government, right? So with the numbers here, we can clearly see that migration numbers is really high. So now let's see what the Prime Minister has to say about this and all the plans they have to further cut down migration to the UK. So this is from the official government website, Prime Minister's speech on migration, 28th of November 2024. So after the Office of National Statistics have released everything, they have released the numbers around migration and all of that, stating that nearly 1 million people came to Britain in the year ending June 2023. So that is 4 times the migration levels compared with 2019, obviously from the graph that we previously saw, right? So here in summary, he will see that he's just stating the obvious, how the UK has been reliant on skilled workers from overseas and everything. He said here that, because clearly the vast majority of people who enter this country did so to plug gaps in our workforce. So instead of relying on overseas or looking at overseas for answers, they would look inwards and see how they can solve this problem. So there's been skill shortages across the country, and it has left the economy hopelessly reliant on immigration. 2.8 million people out of work on long-term sickness, a problem ignored, left to fester. 1 in 8 young people not in employment or education or training. So he's saying these are the problems and these are the reasons why they've been over-reliant on overseas workers, okay? But they have to tackle this to make sure that, they cut down this, because the numbers cannot keep going up. Okay, so sectors of our economy like engineering, where apprenticeships are almost halved in the last decades, while visas have doubled. So we are taking a different approach. We will publish a white paper imminently which sets out a plan to reduce immigration. So they are working on setting out more plans to reduce immigration, despite all the plans and measures that the previous government have put in place, that this government is still standing on, because they have said clearly that they're going to stand on that. All the rules that the previous government put in place, they don't have any plans to change it or overturn it. But in addition to that, they're still going to put out more plans of everything they're going to do to cut down migration to the UK. So the Migration Advisory Committee is already conducting a review, and where we find clear evidence of sectors that are over-reliant on immigration, we will reform the points-based system and make sure that applications for the relevant visa routes, whether it's the skilled worker routes or the shortage occupation list, will now come with new expectations on training people here in our country. You know that this is one thing that they've been hammering on since they really came into office. They've been talking about how they're going to train people here, people in the country first. They're not going to depend on overseas anymore. It's not going to be the first thing to do. Like when you're thinking about somebody to recruit or thinking about workers, you would think of overseas recruitment first. No. The first thing to do is to train people here and see how people in the UK can take up the jobs instead of just depending on overseas applications. So we will now come with new expectations on training people here in our country. We will also crack down on any abuse of the visa routes. For far too long, we've been casual about malpractice in our labor market, which sends a clear signal overseas that we are soft touch. Well, no more. Our rules will be enforced. Any employers who refuse to play ball, they will be banned from hiring overseas labor. And I'm pleased to announce today a new security agreement between Iraq and the UK. This is a world first that will help us smash the people smuggling gangs and secure our borders. So from everything, I'm sure we can now take away that we should be expecting more, okay? On the dependent visas, obviously they're not planning to change that from everything that he has said, because people are still like waiting to know if this government is going to change and start allowing care workers and senior care workers from bringing dependents to the UK. The government is saying they have no plans to touch on that, and if for anything we should expect more rules, more plans that they have to further cut down migration to the UK. So guess we should keep our ears to the grounds in the coming weeks and months, to see when they're going to release the other plans they have and they have made to cut down migration to the UK. Okay, so these are all the things he said they are going to do, because obviously they're just not happy with the numbers that were released. If you also listen to the speech by the leader of the opposition party, you would also notice that she said the same thing, right? She also said that they are going to really go all out to cut down migration to the UK, because a lot of people were not really happy with everything she said about migration and all that. But I think at this point it doesn't really matter. She said what she said. That's to show you that both the party in power and the opposition party, right, they are just not happy with the numbers that was released by the Office of the National Statistics, right? So it's just a lot going on migration, and it has really been a big subject. It has really been a big topic. Migration has really been a big subject, when it comes to UK politics and all of that. So it is a big deal for them, and they were just not happy, and that is why everybody is just saying everything they're going to do. They're even coming up with more plans to cut down migration. So this is what the Prime Minister had to say about everything that they are doing to cut down migration. They're just not happy. So he talked about handling those coming in by boat, illegal migrants, and he also talked about legal migration as well. How they're going to set caps, look at the point-based system to review that, and even the Migration Advisory Committee, everything they are doing as well to, see sectors they can look into and everything. Nobody really knows what to expect anymore, but let's see what happens in the coming weeks and months. So this is it. He said we are also tackling the utter mess we inherited in the Home Office, asylum returns, total numbers, and we will keep going, because this is the work of change. And alongside the NHS and the economy, securing our borders is the issue that matters to working people. What people want from politics is not unreasonable. They want order and security, borders that we control, and NHS that protects you, an economy that offers secure work and good opportunities, not just for a few at the top, but for everyone. So let me directly say to people watching, it won't be easy or quick, but we are going to turn things around. Not with gimmicks, but with grafts. A government that will not rest until the foundations are fixed, borders are secure, and Britain is rebuilt. Thank you. This was published on the 28th of November 2024. So yeah, that is just it exactly on what is happening. This is just to tell you guys, with the numbers that was released and everything, that they're just not happy. Okay, I just hope that whatever the plans are will not be too much for us to handle. Like, it will still be favorable for people, but fingers crossed. Let's see. Let's just wait and see what they have in mind and what their plans are. So we are waiting, and trust me, once that is out, or if any other thing comes up, I will definitely let you guys know. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today's video. I really want to hear what you guys think about all of this in the comment section. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.